Yo, what's going on, guys? Today, we're going to go over a complete guide of the KSP and Cold War multiplayer. So, for the SMGs and Cold War, they're my absolute favorite guns, but for the KSP specifically, it'll have to be at the bottom of the SMGs, but I still really do like this gun. It's one of my more consistent guns, especially after I found the right attachments and the right build. It's like I said, it's one of my more consistent guns. It's one of my better KD guns. It was just kind of awkward at first because it was a 3-burst gun, but once I got used to it, wasn't much of a problem. But going back to that 3-burst, so if you hit the 3-burst within a certain range, they'll instantly die, but you have to at least get them in that first or second round of 3-burst. If not, that's way too long, and the enemy will down you. So that was my only nitpick with it. That's why it was really hard to pop off for like a really high kill game or a really high kill streak, because you just have to be really consistent on over and over getting the first or second round in. So with all that being said, we'll go over some gameplay, we'll go over the attachments, and then we'll sum up the video. But in the gameplay that you're going to see here next, I go 39-8 and I go for 11 kill streak. But like I said, consistency wise, I could keep having really good games like that, but it was just really hard to like get into 20 kill streaks and stuff like that. But other than that, if you guys like this video, find it helpful in any way, hit that like or subscribe button. But let's go ahead and check out that gameplay.
Team deathmatch. We are pulling ahead.
Friendly target, friendly target.
Them wrong.
Idiot! I'm on your side!
Spy plane standing by.
Counter spy plane above. Music on. Counter spy plane NTL 50% check. Spy plane commencing surveillance operation. Initial timeline expired. Counter spy plane exiting AOR. Spy plane MTL 50% check.
Throwing stun. Inbound.
Hostile spy plane established overhead.
down.
Hostile spy plane established overhead.
It's coming in.
Hostile sentry turret active. Enemy counter spy plane inbound. Enemy spy plane inbound. Enemy counter spy plane inbound. Citrep, napalm strike inbound. KSP win HVA. Hostile spy plane established overhead. HVA takes the day. Well done.
Area secured. We are in control.
Alright, let's talk about attachments now. So let's start with the optic here. I put on the Microflex just because I didn't like the iron sights on this gun, especially with the 3 burst. I think it's important to hit your shots. If you're not comfortable with the iron sights, just go ahead and put it on an optic, just because it's so important to hit your shots, especially with a 3 burst. If you're not hitting, the enemy's going to down you. If you're comfortable with iron sights, feel free to plug something else in. But for the muzzle, I go with the agency suppressor to help keep you off the minimap and help with the vertical recoil. That's mainly going to be this gun's recoil is going to be the vertical. There's really not much horizontal at all. So for the barrel, I go with the Task Force barrel. I mainly put this on just because of the effective damage range, the bullet velocity, and there's no penalty to the speed of the gun. So it is going to hurt your vertical and your horizontal. The horizontal you really don't have to worry about because there's like none there. But the vertical, it's going to hurt, so it's going to kick up more. So that's why I put the agency suppressor on to kind of help with that a little bit. So if you feel like there's still too much vertical recoil and there's still too much spread, so if it's going to kick up on you, the spread's not going to be as tight. So if you're still having trouble, the other barrel I really enjoyed was the extended, just because there's no penalties and it still helps with your bullet velocity. Me personally, especially in multiplayer, I favor bullet velocity over effective damage range. So the only other option you could go with would be reinforced heavy barrel, but that's going to be a big negative to your aiming walking speed and a little negative to your sprint move speed. So that's going to hurt your movement speed. And I like to strafe left and right, so that one was definitely a no-go for me. And then the rifle, it's going to small hit to your sprint movement speed, so it's going to hurt your movement a little bit, but it's only going to bump it up real slightly here. Bumps up to 15 meters, but like I said, I favor bullet velocity. I mean, it's only a few meters, but that's personal preference for me. But like I said, if you can handle the recoil, definitely go with the task force there. All right, next for the underbarrel, I go with the bruiser grip because I want this gun to be as fast as possible. So the bruiser grip is basically just icing on the cake for me. It helps with a little bit of everything: your handling, movement speed, your strafing. So with this gun, since it is a 3-burst, you're not going to hit your enemies every single time with that first round of 3 bursts that it instantly kills them. Sometimes it's going to take, 2 rounds, the 3rd round, even 4 rounds. So that's the nice part. That's the reason why I tailored this gun as fast as possible. Strafe left and right, jump shots, slide shots, because you want to be as fast as possible, throw off your enemies, because if you do miss your shots, at least you're fast enough and nimble enough to maybe throw your enemy off, so you can fit in few more rounds of 3 bursts, just because you're not going to always hit them, so that helps out with that, with the speed. All right, so for the SAS combat stock, this is going to be my last attachment, just to help out with the strafing left and right, and it's not going to hurt your hip fire accuracy as much as the Raider stock, because I still like the hip fire. So I go ahead and put on this one, just help with like I said, the strafing speed. And if you want to, if you're more of a hip fire shooter, which like I said, you want to be as accurate as possible, so I highly recommend ADSing vast majority of the time. You could swap out this combat stock for the 5 milliwatt laser if you wanted to. So that's pretty much a wrap up on the attachments that I use for my KSP. All right, guys, that does it for this one. Make sure to port her up, and I'll catch you in the next one.